Hey guys! So I'm playing through the old games, and I said that yesterday in my video. And something I've noticed through them is that there's certain aspects to the old games that the newer ones don't have that actually give them a really strong charm. And one of them I will say that for me personally is fun, but maybe someone else wouldn't like it, is the random encounters. Inside of Scarlet and Violet, all the Pokemon are overworld. So you can find them all inside the wild, and even the trait evolutions are found inside raids. But it's not the same. Yeah, there's Pokemon that could have less than a 1% chance to be found. Things like that. That is very common, very normal. But when you actually are searching, like right now I'm playing through Y. And like I said yesterday, I go to the first trial, I got there, and now I'm on a different game. And I'm just heading to the first gym. But when you are spending time actually looking for that random encounter in the grass that could be a 1%, and then you find it, that has more feeling of pride in your ability to find that than it does when you're just walking around and randomly that 1% Pokemon decides to show up. Because, inside Scarlet and Violet, you can use sandwiches. Or like something I really appreciate for the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was actually Pokemon Pogo. I like the games where you can actually find Pokemon randomly that you would never normally be able to find. And I really like Pokemon Pogo because if you do set up the berries and you get it all set up, it physically can call in Pokemon. Which if you're someone who has trouble catching Pokemon, these Pokemon, if you can make them be your friend inside Pogo, 100% catch rate. And they did kind of continue that with Sword and Shield, where if you did the curries, you would have an opportunity to have Pokemon from that route show up into your camp, and then you would automatically catch them. Which, if you're doing a no-catching playthrough of Pokemon Sword and Shield, just go to wherever the camps are, set up the curries, figure out the Pokemon you want with the right nature, and then just keep remaking that curry over and over, and you will find them. I have found, like, on Route 4 on the way to the grass gym, there's a 1% chance to find Force Seed. Unless you want to go spend hours inside the wild area resetting a raid for it. I don't personally like doing that. I like finding them inside their roots. So, what I do, so a lot of times actually what's been happening is that Force Seed is 1%. So, normally when I get to like Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet, if I see one of the picnic people or one of the curry camps, I'll go ahead and set up my camp and I'll use every single one of my ingredients, my condiments, everything, just to see what I can randomly make. But that also means there's a good chance that Pokemon show up. And one of the Pokemon I seem to have that I know for a fact is hard is like Sizzlipede, the little tiny fire bug from last generation in Sword and Shield. Now that's a 1% chance. I have spent, and when this game first came out and I didn't even have the book, I just knew it was there. I had spent 10 whole days looking for a Sizzlipede in the wild, just using random encounters. But I decided to complete the route, and when I got to the camper, I set up my own tent and I started making curries. After only 2 curries, Sizzlipede showed up at my camp, and I was perfectly fine to catch it. But if you're going to do like a no-catching playthrough through Sword and Shield, use the curries. They are legitimate Pokemon that you can use on that playthrough because you are not throwing a Pokeball that time. It asks you, do you want to catch it? All you have to do is answer yes or no. You never throw a Pokeball, you never do anything. It just magically goes straight to your box because it liked your curry. So it is a way to actually play that game as can you beat Pokemon Sword or Shield with no catching? Yes, you can actually, because the fact is those curries are going to call in team members you may need. Like it can call in Sizzlipede, which is Fire type. That covers your Fire type. And the starter is always given to you, so that actually covers that. But as I'm playing, like, another feature I really like is that inside of Alpha Sapphire and Alpha Moon, they still had like the Poke Radar. So you can actually keep track of how many Pokemon you found. Or if you're really trying to find that hard to find one, if you can get the silhouette, it's actually pretty easy to find after that because the Poke Radar gives you that ability. But there's special things like that you don't see that often. Kind of like with Diamond and Pearl, I loved the Poketch. I like how they put it on the little tiny corner there, just to show that it's still there, but also you can always press R and make it go away, so you don't have to deal with it if you don't like it. I personally do, because I'm someone who likes to watch the time, because I actually do like figuring out how long it takes me to catch things. So for me personally, it's fun. For someone else, none of this may sound like fun, and I understand that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as I'm playing, I'm just seeing all these old features and these old things I used to love playing, like with X and Y. One of the main things I loved to play was Pokemon and Me. It sucks they had to cut off the internet to the 3DSs, because if they left it on, I could still play with other people, but you would get special rewards, special stickers, special foods, and special things to the Pokemon and Me. And I always thought it was fun, because the fact is it didn't make it feel like it was a required side game. But if you want like that fast friendship, like if you got a Pichu or a Baneri that's at level 2 and you really wanted to evolve right away, Pokemon and Me can get you to that star link in seconds. And it takes seconds, because all you're doing is playing small little side games. I mean, like if you also have like kids and they want to try but you aren't sure how well they are, giving them the Pokemon and Me side games are really easy, because all they're doing is clicking on the bottom screen. They aren't touching any buttons, and as long as you're watching them, those kids can have fun for hours just playing with the yawn ball, trying to get the picture right. And I mean, it doesn't hurt the Pokemon, it doesn't do anything, it just makes it fun. But I'm wondering, is there any old gimmicks inside of games that you play the newer game and you're slowly, and as you go back and play the old ones, you see the things that you kind of wish ones had a new one? Just like when it came to like Coliseum. I wish they would continue Coliseum, but I know for a fact they won't, because they haven't continued it in years. But like, I physically love the idea of the shadow Pokemon. I love the idea that you couldn't even evolve them until you physically unlocked all the darkness. And yeah, it was tedious. It took time. But also for me personally, I loved it. But let me know down in the comments if there's anything you guys may have noticed from a newer game to an older game that you really wish that was there, but you also understand why it's not there. Like, I understand why these features did not continue, because the over-talking of the Pokedex inside of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, I don't know how they would be able to put that on the Switch, to be honest, since the Switch doesn't have a bottom screen that you're constantly looking at. So I do understand why they did not bring them, but I also wish they had, because it would have been so cool to see it, but also I can't physically think of a way. But if you guys could, please let me know. But it was nice talking to you guys. If you guys liked the video, please do. And also, if you guys could, I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day.